Hey, are we live? How's it going, everybody? Hi, just finishing getting everything set up. Hi, I'm Todd Nauck. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's art live stream. I'm going to be drawing Iron Man, the Centurion, the Silver Centurion armor. It's one of my favorite armors from when I was a kid growing up, starting to read Marvel Comics. So I'm not only am I live streaming here on YouTube, but I'm also trying to my first simulcast. So I'm going to be drawing digitally, so you're going to see me, wait, I thought I turned this, no, volume off, please. You'll see it, you're getting the what is this called? The app view. But over on Instagram, I'm going to start up the live stream so you can watch it actually stylus on the tablet itself. So it's kind of maybe a little bit of a different experience. We'll see if this works, and if it works well, I'll do it for future digital live streams. If not, forget about it. We tried, didn't work out. It's okay. So I'm so glad you're here. I'll try to respond to as many questions as possible. Same on Instagram. Actually, let me start up the Instagram feed, and we'll introduce everyone here. All right, get that going. Hey everyone on Instagram, welcome to my art live stream. I'm simulcasting on YouTube, so I'm going to be drawing Iron Man, the Silver Centurion armor. In fact, I have some reference pulled up here. That's some classic Bob Layton Iron Man art from the 1980s, was it? The 1980s? So let's start roughing in a pose here. I have no idea quite what I want to do here exactly. In fact, let's just kind of mute him back here for a little bit. And just gonna, oops, actually, I want to start with some red here. I like to break down my figures in red for some reason. So we're just gonna start breaking down some shapes here. So I'll do my best to respond to as many questions, both here on YouTube and Instagram, as I can. A lot of my focus is on the art, so I can't promise I can respond to every comment nor answer every question, but it is something I will try to do as best as possible. So I've got both feeds up here to try to see if I can see everyone's comments. Right now, I'm some heavy thinking here. We're just going to do the pencils here, just doing some digital pencils for Iron Man here. So that's all we'll be doing in today's art live stream. And hopefully the simulcast, like I said, will go well, and we will hopefully can do this on future live streams. Just push the camera back a little bit there because it's like way up in my grill. So let's see. So I have this Iron Man reference here so I can get his armor right. I want to get the details to the armor as accurate as possible. So that's what that reference is. Not for the pose, but just for the details of the armor. Right now I got to get the body shape going. Let me move this one down. It's going to get real sketchy, really messy. Iron Man, you're in my way. Move you down there instead. How about that? So right now I'm just trying to capture the energy of the pose. Kind of had this pose in my mind's eye. We'll see if I still stick with it as I start to put it together. Get that hand coming forward. Now I'm not liking that at all. Let's try something new, a little. It's a little too static, that previous pose. So what I'm wanting is the turn of the head. So the head's looking this way, torso's going that way, and then his legs turning back the same direction as his head. That twist can be what really can help create some interesting movement and pose. I'm hunkering the head down a little bit. I'm gonna get some foreshortening here. Yeah, here we go. Now I'm digging that hand. Did a little bit of a repulsor ray hand up there. So really throwing out that foreshortening the hands way here in the foreground. Pectoral muscles. Welcome everyone, welcome. Let's see. Do I have any Green Arrow art? I did do a Green Arrow sketch card for the new 52 card set back when the new 52 was new and 52. And let's see, I did an issue and a half of the 52 series, and it featured Green Arrow in that series. So so I did get to draw him a little bit in a DC comic. So I have drawn him. I think it was 52 issue number 13, 11 or 13, I want to say. That was like a lot of 15 years ago, 15 plus years ago. So it's kind of hard to, about 15, 14, 15 years ago that 52 came out. So, so it's hard to remember the exact issue number. I've done a lot of comics since then. It's difficult to remember the issue number of every comic I've worked on, but I know it's either, I think I did part of issue 11 and all of issue 13. Let's see, I guess I still need to move that camera back just a smidge more. So if you just tuned in, I'm just doing some pencils here on this very specific era of Iron Man armor called the Silver Centurion from the mid-1980s. Start to get some thighs in here. Let's see, are there any questions going on here in the Instagram chat? So how many post-it sketches have you done? Probably in the 5,000s. Not quite the 5,000s. I haven't even broken 1,000 yet. I think I just cleared 300 or 400, I think, over the many years I've been doing post-it note illustrations. There's an album, a dedicated album of post-it note sketches on my Art of Todd Nauck Facebook page. So if you're on the Facebook, you can swing by my Art of Todd Nauck Facebook page, and you can see all the post-it notes. It's pretty much almost every single post-it note sketch I've ever done is in that album. You can see the very first one I did, which was a Spidey, and all the way up to my most recent one, which I don't even remember what my most recent one is. All right, so I think I've got the pose down here. That's a pretty scritchy, scratchy mess, but that's the way I like to work. What I'm going to do is size this to fit by my 9" by 12" canvas. That's what I'm working on here. So he fills it up a little bit more. What I'm going to do here is doing the pencils today. We've already established that. My next live stream will be the inks, and I want to do the inks on artboard, do traditional inks on artboard. So I'll be printing this out on onto Bristol board for inks and colors. May do Copic marker, may do watercolor. Get a little bit of his boots in here. At least that one leg, you can see part of his boot. So it's all right. So Iron Man, we're gonna have you step away for a second. I'm gonna lower the opacity so I just see a ghost image of my sketch. And now I can start to my first wave of tightening up the pencils. Was using a .60 sized pencil nib. Now I'm gonna power it down to maybe about a 25. Just want to kind of clean up my shapes here. This is kind of, so it's the rough stage, and then this is actually more of the sketch stage. Was this was it Bright? I forget Mark Bright. Is that his work? I thought this was Bob Layton. I could be completely wrong. That was from the Marvel Handbook back in 1985, 86. So that was a lot of years ago. So I just assumed it was Bob Layton, but it could very well be Mark D. Bright. But I just made an assumption it was Bob Layton since he's so known for Iron Man and was, I believe, if I understand correctly, the designer of this specific armor. Just one of my favorites as a kid. And even today as an adult, I really still dig this armor. Let's see, where is that reference? Yeah, it's kind of a trapezoid for the chest piece there. Shoulder pads. Well, I can pull up my reference in a sub-view window on Clip Studio Paint. I did not know that. I don't need to put it on a layer. I did not know that. I'm going to have to look into how to do that thing. That'll be so much nicer. Yeah, I have not. I've learned a lot about Clip Studio Paint, but I have not learned that yet. Thanks for the tip. I'll definitely have to do some research. I'll make things a lot better for future live streams when I need to have the reference on my tablet. Usually I pull it up on my phone or my iPad, but my phone's streaming Instagram, and my iPad is letting me see my YouTube stream so I can see the comments and questions as they come in. So otherwise I'd probably have usually I have my reference up on one of those devices. Oh, so this reference is not Bob Layton. No, well, thank you for clarifying, everybody. Thank you so much. My apologies to Mark D. Bright. If it is indeed Mark D. Bright who drew that illustration of Silver Centurion for the Marvel Handbook. He has the leg muscles there, and then tuck in that bicep right there. And then this other hand here. Is Gwen Stacy issue 3 ever going to come out? I certainly hope so. I hope issues 3, 4, and 5 come out. That's Marvel's call. As publisher, they get final word on if and when that book will come out. So our hope is, I know the creative team and we all hope that the comic does come out. If y'all didn't know, Gwen Stacy was the series I was drawing when COVID-19 happened. So, and put the industry on pause. So that has delayed the release of issues 3, 4, and 5 of our 5-issue miniseries. Issue 2 had just come out the week before. So, so there are those first two issues are available. If y'all are interested in picking up my latest comic book work, you can find it in that Gwen Stacy solo series. And just a quick overview of that series for those that might not be aware. This is not a retcon. This is not a bringing her back to life. This is not a Spider-Gwen series. This is the legit Gwen Stacy in the days before we met her at Empire State University. This is her high school days. Because Gwen Stacy, when she was introduced, Peter Parker was at college. So she was in college at Empire State University. So, so we're doing a story that is like a prequel, if you will. So it tells the story of who was she prior to meeting Peter Parker, and what was life like in the Marvel Universe, the early days of the Marvel Universe for her. So it's a really fun story written by Christos Gage, drawn by me. colors by Rochelle Rosenberg, my regular colorist, and covers by the amazing Adam Hughes. So, and I did variant covers for issues 1 and 2. Yeah, so if you're looking to pick up some Todd Nauck comics, there you go. So yes, I do hope we get to see the rest of the series in print here in the not too distant future. Hopefully as soon as possible. But like I said, that's Marvel's call. I have no say in that, unfortunately. But we will see what the future holds, huh? All right, so there's that. Let's see, I can turn that layer off. I want to extend that forearm just a smidge. This is a nice thing about drawing digitally. Something's not quite where you want it, you can select it, drag it, put it where you want, instead of erasing it and redrawing it. Actually, what I want to do is slide him over just a bit, and slide him up just a bit. Okay, let's tighten up the face here a little bit more. Where's my reference? Oh, he's way down there now. I'm going to try to get that helmet as accurate as possible. Thanks for the kind words. Thanks for the kind words, everyone. We got his eye pieces here. How's it going over here on the YouTubes? Is this going to be a finished illustration, or am I going to split it? This will be a multi-part video series. So this is part 1, the pencil art. So I'm going to do digital pencils, then I plan to do traditional inks, and then follow that with traditional colors is the plan. Earpieces on the side there. And that helmet up over his head a little bit more. That mouth going. Chin. Got that little collar piece. All right, that's should be enough to kind of get me through to the next stage of pencils. Don't want it to get too cluttered up there. In fact, I might need to enlarge that head just a smidge. But let's go ahead and do that now. Select, and then adjust. Love that adjustable feature. Cool. We'll call you back in a little bit, Iron Man. Until then, now I can lighten that layer, create a new layer. And this will be what I do my pencils on. We'll power this down to maybe a size 17 nib. Let's see. You said you saw that I said I was going to be traditionally inking this. Yep. Is there any chance of applying some zip-a-tone or screen tone for that Bob Layton style feel? I do like the look of zip-a-tone. I don't have any right now, so this one probably will not have that. No, this will probably be a strictly Todd Nauck style illustration, not going for any of the zip-a-tone or screen tone effects for this one here. Love the suggestion, just not something I currently have any of. Yeah, I already have ideas of how I want to color this, so and I don't think the zip-a-tone would I mean, I guess I could apply zip-a-tone after I color it, but no plans to do that at this time. But maybe for a future illustration. I haven't worked with Zibetone in quite some time. But I love the look of it. Especially loved how John Byrne used it on the Namor series back in the 1990s. Start over, you just got here. Well, I'm sorry I can't start over. But nice thing about live streaming is if all goes well, you can come back and watch the replay and watch the part that you missed. So, at least here on the YouTube. Hopefully if things go well, I'll be able to save this Instagram live stream feed to my IGTV channel and hopefully build up some content there while I build up content here on my YouTube. So, double duty if all works out well. This is full-on experiment right now. Wait, does he have banded metals for his fingers? Kind of. For his thumb, yes. Oh, just the kind of the joints. So just at the joints. Good to know, good to know. This isn't like the classic, or the, was it the Mach 5 Iron Man? This is Mach 6. And there are some slight variations. So I want to reflect that as accurately as possible. Okay, let's see. Looking at how the shoulder pads wrap around underneath his arm. Let's see, some darker shadow. On the inside of his gauntlet there. So some of this dark shadow, darker color kind of into his fingers. I need to answer another question here while I draw. Let's see. What am I drawing with digitally? Great question. I am drawing on a Wacom Mobile Studio Pro 13 in a program called Clip Studio Paint. That's what I use for my work stuff. Move into the pectoral muscles here. It's kind of working from the foreground and overlapping as I move further and further towards what is essentially the background, if you will. Let's work on his helmet here a little bit. Kind of a little ridge around the forehead and down the sides of the head. Any tricks for Bandy? I'm sorry, I don't understand your question. What are my pen settings? This is a Frienden pen, Frenden, that I bought from the person who makes these Frienden pens. It says, I think just a regular old pencil. What's this pencil called? Pencil Digital. What this one's called. So a digital pencil. And I have not adjusted any of the settings for this one. Just using it as is at this time. Let's see, got the little banded metal neck piece there. What little of it we can see, and then it's kind of like a angular collar. See if we can take some more questions here. Let's see. Let's see, do I do redesigns of Marvel characters? Professionally or for fun? Professionally, I have done some redesigns of characters. They asked me to do some designs of some of the Fatal Five for the Gamerverse Iron Man comic that came out last year. That was fun. I got to redesign Absorbing Man, Whirlwind, the Beetle, Titania, and Spy Master. Not Spy Smasher, that's a different character. I think that's a DC character, Spy Smasher. I redesigned Spy Master. I think I have those names right. Now I'm starting to doubt myself. So I did those redesigns professionally. did some redesigns of some Spidey villains in the Spidey Schools Out series. I got to redesign Vulture and Rhino and the Shocker. Kind of didn't go crazy with the redesign. My Vulture was probably the most intense. Rhino was pretty much, you know, looked very similar to the Marvel Universe one. Didn't do a lot of changes for him. So, yeah. But then for fun, I don't know if I've done any redesigns for fun. I've been tempted to create my own series of X-Men team uniforms, but haven't done that yet. Dropping in some of these black shadows on the red parts of his armor. So here on the helmet, to help give shape and form. So it's just considering the angles of the face, or the helmet, his head, if you will, and then choosing to put black on the opposite side of wherever the light source will be. Right now, the light source is kind of coming from our left-hand side. Little shadow cast from his chin and jaw. This one kind of helps give the character some depth. Drop in the mouth here. And kind of thin out. Make the eyes a little thinner, a little more slender. Let's see. Move Iron Man down here for now. Let's work on this other shoulder. So I use Procreate too. I've been kind of fiddling around with Procreate. I don't really use it a lot. I have not had the time to really invest into learning the ins and outs of that program. I have had fun creating some illustrations with Procreate, but I have not had time to really learn a lot to really feel I've gotten proficient at it, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So it's going to require a lot more practice and study and more practice to start to feel comfortable with that app. But I do like it. It's just taking the time to really study and practice is the challenge for me. Definitely a program I want to get better at using. There's been so much going on of late. If I could have full control of a buddy-buddy team-up over a series, who would I write and what characters would you want it to be in it? You already know who I'd want to color it. Oh, do you, Tony? Do you know who I'd want to color that book? Seeing as to the fact that you live with that person. Rochelle Rosenberg's husband is here. And so, Tony, to answer your question, though, so glad you're here, Tony. Didn't even realize that was you until I got to the end of your question. It's like, wait, you'd know who I'd have color it? Of course you would. It's you. It's you asking this question. I digress. My brain is processing a lot of information right now. Over at DC, a Buddy Buddies series I'd want to do, easy. Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. Love those two guys. They're hilarious, fun comics. I'd love to do that book, if such a book were possible. For over at DC, golly, you know, man, there's just so many I think that I would think of that would be fun to do. The first ones that came to mind were Cypher and Warlock, aka Douglock when they merge. Always dug those two characters and their friendship. Cannonball and Sunspot are best buds, so that would be a really fun book to do if we were to do a buddy series, because I know they're buds. Kitty Pryde and Rachel, well, Summers at the time, but Gray now. I know they're pals. Or Kitty Pryde and Magic, they're best friends. So those would be characters that I would find to be fun to do a buddy book with. So, but the first ones that came to mind, Warlock and Cypher. Have I ever drawn the Blue Beetle? For commissions, but not professionally. I have not drawn any of the Blue Beetles. Dan Garrett, Ted Cord, my personal favorite, or Jaime Reyes. I have not had the opportunity to draw any of them professionally, at least not that I can remember. Maybe I have. Like I said, I've drawn a lot of comic books over the years, so it starts to blur as to who I have actually drawn or haven't. Let's see, this needs a little more angle. A little more triangular than what I've done. Again, a nice aspect of drawing digitally is you need to make an edit. You can do it like this and save on erasing. Let's see, here's an interesting question. Do you add any designs or alterations to characters when drawing them, or keep to the classic original designs? It depends on the assignment. If it is, if I'm doing something for Marvel or for DC, it all depends on what the book is, what the story is. If you're drawing Spider-Man and he's in his red and blue costume, then that's the costume. I can't just switch it to the black costume or a PS4 type costume. It has to be that consistent look, along with what the story is. So in that sense, I stick with the classic. Now I might give my own style to it, to the classic red and blues or black or whatever it is. I want it to make it signaturely mine, but that it's recognizable if this is a Todd Nauck drawing or illustration. But I don't make drastic alterations. That'd be a bit too out of bounds. Now, if I came up with an idea that I thought was cool, I could ask my editor, hey, what do you think about this? Can we incorporate this into the story? And they can say, well, we'll look into that, and we can keep the communication lines going. But then when I do things for a commission, for fun, then I have, definitely I'm not beholden to necessarily the current storyline. I can get creative with the design if desired. professionally, it's a fine line to how to handle that or approach that. And staying in communication with your editor is always a good way to go. Hopefully I understood your question correctly. Appreciate the kind comments. Let's see. How about a Moon Knight or a Sleepwalker drawing one day? Definitely something I'll keep in mind. Hopefully you had a chance to read my Sleepwalker miniseries I did a couple years ago during the Infinity Wars storyline. It was a lot of fun to do. Chad Bowers and Chris Sims wrote a really fun comic for me to draw. Really great guys to work with. Let's see, if you were to choose, for you, I'm assuming, here on Instagram, if you were to choose, do you use color pencils or pens? You know, what do you prefer? What helps you achieve the goal that you're looking to do with the piece that you're working on? So I'd say, you know, either way, sounds like you'll be a winner with your project. So that's the fun thing. That's the decision you get to make. You know what I mean? Assuming I understood your question correctly. Let's see. Is my first gig as a comic artist enough to live off of, or should you still keep in other employment? That's a interesting question. I think it's contextual. Every artist and the artist's opportunity is going to be different. It depends on what you get. My first gig was a one-page illustration for a DC or a Marvel comic called What The? Their humor comic. It's just one page. That was not something I could quit my daytime job, my regular job over. Actually, I was still in art school, so you know I also had to go to art school as well. So it wasn't something that I was like, okay, I got this one-page gig. I'm now a full-time comic book artist. It was just the kind of the first step. So so for me, it took, after I got that first gig, it was still another year and a half before maybe less than that, a year before I started working full time. I guess it was about a year before I started working part time. Like it was like I was doing a series for an indie publisher, and then like 4 months later, Rob Liefeld discovered me and hired me, and I moved to California to work for him. And once I was in his studio, I was working full time. So from the time I got my first gig, which was that one pager, to the time that I started drawing full-time comics, it was about a total of about a year and a half roughly. So so it all depends on the artist and the opportunities that are before them. You kind of, from my experience, it depends on the jobs you get, and then how busy do you get, where it's like, I've got so much comic book work now, I don't need to work flipping burgers anymore, because I've got deadlines to meet, you know? So it's time for me to quit the job at name your favorite fast food place here, and then just start working full-time in comics. So so it all depends on the artist and the opportunities that are before him or her. So hope that helps. Hope that helps answer your question. But I wish you all the best. I wish every young artist all the best in pursuing their dreams of being a comic book artist. It's not an easy job. It is not easy. It is challenging, but it's fun. I know it's fun for me. I can at least put it that way. I have a great time drawing comics. But I also know that it's very hard work and requires much discipline. I believe that discipline can be learned over time. You can learn how to be disciplined. And so it's got one leg done, coming along here pretty swimmingly. Need to add some more, finish kind of out this middle section. Get the iron abs in here. Is this better than a pencil and paper? I don't know if I'd say better. I think that this does give me different options than pencil and paper. I like working both ways. I like working digitally. I like working traditionally. But I will say that, as you might not have been, if you tuned in a little later here, then you might have missed some of the features I was able to do here in making tweaks to this illustration that didn't require me to do a bunch of erasing. I could just select the section that needed to be like a different size, like I made his head a little bit larger. So I was able to just go in and select it and then enlarge it without having to erase it and redraw it. So that's a nice thing about digital. That's a nice trick there that can really save on time and also not lose the energy of the illustration that I've been working on. It's like, man, I really like how this head looks, but it's too small. If I'm on pencil and paper, I've got to erase and hope I can recapture that magic and make it the right size I need it to be. Digitally, it's like, the head's a little too small. I need it to be a little larger. Select, enlarge, boom, I'm done. It's done in moments, and I haven't lost all that energy of the line that I've put down with my digital pencil. So so there are, I think, great aspects to both, if you will. I'm going to take the magic wand tool, select these areas here on his pecs that are supposed to be black, expand it a couple of pixels width, and then grab my pencil. Now, since it's selected there, I can just fill this part in black without having to worry about it going everywhere. Just restricted by those marching ants. Deselect, boom. How are we doing on questions here? If I would want to be a superhero, which one would I want to be and why? Oh my gosh. Well, I love Spider-Man, but I don't know if I'd want to be him because that guy's got nothing but problems. He's got girl problems, he's got job problems, he's got, he's got his Aunt May whose health is often failing. Assuming we're talking about the comic book version, not the movie version. So while I think Spider-Man's super cool, and he's one of my all-time favorite characters, I don't know if I'd want to live his life. I'd probably say for me, I would, oh gosh, who would I want to be? That's a great question. I want to be different characters for so many different reasons. But I guess every character has problems in their life because that's what makes them interesting. So I don't know. I might say Nightcrawler because I think he's a character I most relate to. But if I wanted to be someone like completely different from who I am, or significantly, or maybe just even marginally different than who I am, I don't know. Gosh, I don't know. That's a great question. That's a great question. Because as soon as I think of a character, it's like, oh, but would I want to deal with that? Would I want to deal with this problem, that problem, the other problem? Yeah, you really got me thinking on that one. Let's see, I need to block out where this dark area would be on this piece here. I don't even know what you'd call this part of his armor here. I guess codpiece, like if it was like a suit of armor, a codpiece. Anyhow, this section here. And what's fun here about digital is now I can come in here with like an eraser, and I could just cut in. Oops. Now the top of the section, I can just come in here and cut in those white lines without having to draw them in. Where's my light source? My light source is essentially kind of above and to our left. So like the light source is coming down from this way. So since I know where my light source is, I can then throw in the dark shadow areas based on that. I'm going to take away a little bit of this dark real estate here on this side. Maybe I'll throw in some shines in there. Always cool. Or often cool. Most of the time cool. Can I say that? Is that a way I could put it? Most of the time cool. Another nice thing about drawing digitally, do something you didn't like, you can just Control-C, reverse it. Which is a nice, handy tool. All right, let's see. Let's get back to drawing. And got his little buckle here. Get this other arm going here. Who is this character? This is Iron Man in his Silver Centurion armor from the mid-1980s. It's a red and silver armor. They wore it from like 1985 roughly to 1980, what would we say, 88, 89, somewhere around there. So he wore this armor for about at least 4 years. 3 to 4 years, I want to say. Like when he was first in West Coast Avengers. So how long have we got here on the, how long have I been live streaming for? Because Instagram will time out at 1 hour. So if it times out, come visit me on YouTube. That's youtube.com/Todd Nauck, and you can see me finish this in case the YouTube 1 hour times out and you don't get to finish seeing what I'm doing here. You can find me on Todd Nauck or youtube.com/Todd Nauck. Just want to tighten up this hand here. That's one disappointing thing here about Instagram right now is that they only give you an hour to live stream, unless they've since changed that, and I'm not aware. I want to change. I want to see if I can adjust the angle of that hand. Let's see, I can just select it, twist it, turn it as needed. I want to make him a little smaller here so he's not quite pushing to the edge of the paper so close. Give a little bit of a buffer, a little breathing room, if you will. If I had to date a DC or an Insta character, I don't know who the Insta characters are, so we'll say DC. If I had to date a DC character, who would it be and why? Well, I'm married, so I would not be dating any of those characters. But let's just assume back in my younger days when I was single, who would I date? For me, I would say, let's say I'm a teenager. Let's say I'm a teenage. Who would teenage Todd Nauck date? I've got to tweak this here. Tweak your question so I can answer it appropriately. So, who would teenage Todd Nauck date? I would probably say Wonder Girl. I would probably want to date Wonder Girl because she's cool, she's smart, she's strong, and I think she's probably got a good sense of humor, especially if she's going to put up with characters like Superboy and Impulse in Young Justice. So I would probably say Wonder Girl. And that's the Cassie Sandsmark Wonder Girl. If I was back in high school. If I was going to high school in the DC universe, I should say. But say I was like my college years, my college age days, who would I date? I would probably say, probably be Barbara Gordon. Many of the similar reasons. She's cool, she's like super smart. I mean, she's like a computer whiz. actually can help me figure out how to get my email app to stop wigging out on me. And you know, she's tough. So but definitely thankful to be married to my wife. And not have to worry about the dating scene. What makes me think Wonder Girl would want to date me? You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Maybe she wouldn't want to date me. But I at least got to ask. I at least got to ask. You know? She says no. Fair enough. Fair enough. We can still be friends, right? So, totally. Same with Barbara Gordon, you know? She might turn me down as well. Or she might have turned down a young Todd Nauck, I should say. Because old Todd Nauck is off the market. Old Todd Nauck is not available. Sorry, everyone. Like, excellent point. Excellent point. What makes me think she'd want to date me? Totally excellent point. Do I prefer blue lines or red lines for my sketch? Well, as you can see here, I prefer red lines in when I'm working digitally, just because I can see it better. If I'm penciling something from scratch, I often use blue line because it's not as dark on the paper. And then sometimes, like if I'm doing a commission and I'm working on straight with pencil on paper, I just go straight for the HB graphite lead. So I have different tools for different reasons, for different options or opportunities, if you will. For the different ways I like to work. All right, we just got one more leg to go. I'll throw some lilies. Shines there on his gauntlet. Back to the pencil tool. Let's get this other leg drawn in. Let's see over here on the YouTubes. What kind of questions we got going on? Have I seen Dave Finch's live streams? I have not. I need to go look up his channel. Love Dave Finch artwork. He's amazing. Am I going to stream for LA Comic Con? I have not thought that far in advance. I don't even know when LA Comic Con is, but we'll see. We'll see what I do for LA Comic Con. Same with New York Comic Con. Hopefully I'll be able to do some convention weekend streams, much like I did for San Diego Comic Con in July. This past July, which was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. let's see, when I print this out on the artboard, will I be printing it out in light blue? Yes, I will. I will be printing this out in, most likely I'll be printing it out in light blue, or non-repro blue, as it is called. There is a good chance I will do that. Or I might print it out in gray, just depending on what will show up on screen better. So I'll probably do some experiments before the next live stream. Or I'll probably print out 2 different versions and see which one looks better on camera. So yes, that inking live stream and then most likely subsequent color live stream will be separate live streams in the future. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss out on future art live streams. And not only do I encourage you to subscribe, I encourage you to set your notifications. Just tap the bell icon to alert you when I upload videos or schedule live streams. Also stay tuned to my social media. Usually I try to make an announcement on like my Twitter, Instagram, Art of Todd Nauck Facebook page if I have the time to let y'all know that I'll be live streaming. All right, so just about got all the pencil lines dropped here. I want to throw in a little bit of those little highlight shines. We'll see how well these translate in the traditional inks. But I can turn off the under sketch layer. Oh, something I do like to do is, and this is a great thing about drawing digitally, I like to flip the image and check the face. Make sure the eyes are lined up. Like this eye looks a little too low. So I can select it, then raise it up. Actually, I need to slide it over a little bit, I think. Yeah, just a little bit. Just the mouth a little bit, just so that things line up a little bit better. Still not sure if that's where I want it to be. We even need this nose thing here. Let's try just taking that out. Then flip it back. There we go. Let's my signature on here for now. Today's date. And there are, that's the so far the pencil line art for this Iron Man Silver Centurion armor. So would I recommend an artist learn traditional before trying digital? I don't know if I necessarily would. I think the skills can translate either way. You still have to learn line, shape, form, mass, lighting, shading. So you can do that traditionally or you can do that digitally. You're still learning those basics that you can apply whether it be digital or traditional. So I say use whatever works best for you right now, and then you can move over to the other. So yeah, gang, thanks so much for joining me here on Instagram and on YouTube. Hopefully this simulcast worked out all right, and we can do this again sometime, maybe for the inks. I can invite the Instagram people to join me. So thank you so much. Thanks for all the questions and comments. I'm so sorry I couldn't answer them all. I know there were a lot on both platforms, so I appreciate that. Appreciate you hanging out with me. And yeah, hopefully I can get to work on these inks here in the not too distant future. So stay tuned for future art live streams. So good to be able to come back after, I think I had like a 2 or 3 week break. As you can see, my hair has gotten significantly longer. I have not, this is all COVID-19 quarantine hair. I have not gotten a haircut since March. So that's at least 6 inches of length, which is very rare for me. Growing up back here, that's why I got to wear a hat to keep my hair in place. Otherwise, it's just all over the place here. So and it's all up in my eyes, and I can't see what I'm drawing. But gang, thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you again real soon. So thanks so much, Instagram people. Have a great day. And then my YouTube friends, thank you so much. I will yeah, see you again real soon. Thanks for all your support, and all my social media links are in the video description below, so you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Art of Todd Nauck Facebook page, etc. Hopefully I'll have a link to this image in the video description as well. So gang, till next time, I'm Todd Nauck. Keep on drawing, keep having fun. Take care.